Yeah, it's one thing to talk about it in the media, show film, but you have to go do it. They were really good tonight. Everybody got into the ball, extremely aggressive, and then I thought, taking care of the ball on the other end, it just was a recipe for you can survive bad shooting nights, or I guess I'd say bad shooting halves, if you play the right way. And we said it in there after the game, we have gotten to this point with our win total because of our offense. That's the bottom line. But for us to do anything uniquely special this season, our defense has to come along. And tonight was a good example of it, but with the challenges will keep coming, with OKC next. So it's just got to be a more consistent thing. And I'm not going to sit up here if we'd have lost the game and not been proud of how we played. We played the right way. And I was just really proud of the overall effort for all 4 quarters. That's a really good team we just played with a incredible wingman in Jaylen Brown. I thought we did a really good job, with him, and then also getting out to their shooters who are extremely impactful. So just a really solid one.
David in the back. KJ Simpson with that breakaway dunk, playing in Denver for the first time as a member of the Nuggets. Just how special was that for him, and how happy are you for him to be in this situation now?
Yeah, I mean, it's like another one of these stories this season. It's been a unique season that way. Guys have these moments, and KJ didn't show up here thinking he's going to play. He warmed up, it seems like 4 hours before the game. That's his warm-up times. He's been sitting around here not doing anything. And then Jamal gets sick. He's out. And I felt like it was appropriate to let him play in the first half out of fairness. So we gave him a few minutes there. And I personally thought he looked comfortable to me. He missed a little short jumper. It was a good shot. He took care of the ball. And, the guy comes in, he's a plus 13 with 4 assists. That's a professional player. That's what you look for when you sign these guys. These two-ways are, your front office is looking for people that are quality people that are ready to play. And if they don't get their opportunity the next game, just be ready to play for the next one after that. That's all you can ask from these guys. So we've had that buy-in from everybody this season. Everybody. I thought Zeke's defense in the first half. Just everybody that comes in understands that they're part of something, part of a process that's day-to-day. And they're on this team, and it's special to be on a group like this. So, yeah, really cool for KJ. I know he had a lot of fans, obviously here. A lot of people know who he is from his time at Boulder. So, cool moment for him.
It felt like Boston came out real physical on you guys, and you guys had to step back early. But something clicked, either late first, second quarter. I think Bruce Brown was a catalyst of that as well. But I thought you guys were the more physical team as the game wore on.
Yeah.
Is that the key for you guys maybe to be a good defensive team the rest of the way?
I think so, and I think sometimes if you don't have uniquely fast players, we have veteran players, our physicality's got to be how we guard people. And it allows us to be in coverage, allows our bigs to be at different levels. They're not just being, someone just flying at them, down the lane. And I really thought, I think you brought it up, but the slicing, which was really good tonight, took away the corners, made them drive it back into the defense. The full rotation to Vucevic was really good. Just some things that I thought in Golden State we talked about doing, we didn't do well enough, and then we did it well, tonight. So, the league that's the great thing about the NBA. You just get the next chance, next opportunity. You just keep trying to get better. Just because it's late in the season doesn't mean that we're still part of going through a process. So if we can continue that, that'll be good for us. Gives us a chance in the half court to obviously be a better defensive team. But there's another part to that. Like I said, only 9 turnovers for 5 points. That allows you to sit down and get set defensively, as opposed to just runouts and mismatches and broken plays. Those are really hard to guard in our league. So a lot of positives tonight.
Coach, we saw how the team responded to you last year when you took over under weird circumstances, 3 games left. But now in the length of a season, where you face clear adversity, not just with injuries, but even some of the defensive issues. Does a game like this tell you, like, you've got their ear, that the way they responded in these moments, because you've stressed that now let's look at the standings, there needs to be a sense of urgency regardless of when Aaron and Peyton are coming back?
I've never really thought about it. I think the group seems really locked in, not just to me, but the assistant coaches, player development, our training staff. It's just a really good group of people. And I think when you have a job like mine, you just do it the best you can. You be as honest as you can with these guys, because the whole point of this is to help them succeed. And if they succeed, we all succeed. So that's how I look at it. When they tell me I can't do it anymore, I don't do it anymore. But while I'm here, I'm just going to, like I said, just be brutally honest with them. Try to keep a good vibe in that locker room. And those guys have really responded. It helps to have veteran players understand the ups and downs of this as well. So, yeah, it's not a me thing ever. It's us thing. And if we can, continue that, we can find our way through injuries, sickness, new two-way guys, different starting lineups, all those things.
You kind of mentioned the physicality. There was a lot of pressing at half court. Like Bruce, Tim was another guy. What kind of went into that being a big part of the game plan tonight?
Yeah, I mean, the whole film session from Golden State was they were starting their offense wherever the hell they wanted to start it. It was guys dribbling to the elbow without being touched into dribble handoffs. It just wasn't good enough. Million excuses you can have, but in our league right now, that's the area where you can get physical, and you have to toe the line a little bit. And then obviously discipline comes into play, once they attack the basket. But there's certain nights, and I watch teams across the league where you want to do this every night, and you want to be physical, and you want to pick up and really make the game hard for somebody. And there's nights that you just can't do it because you're exhausted. But I thought tonight we did it, and it really helped to have a guy like KJ step up and Zeke because it minimized the minutes for people so they could play full out. As opposed to sometimes during the season, I have overplayed people to try to win games. And so it's hard to have an expectation like that when you're telling somebody you're going to play 38 minutes and you got to score 25 points. You're asking a lot from certain guys. So, but tonight was a good night for it. It's a good night to obviously, try to build off it into the next games. But we know what the challenges are coming.
David, you kind of just touched on it there, but yesterday you talked about this 3-game stretch and how you can kind of learn a lot about your team based on how the other teams are defending you. How important was it to get off to a good start on this? It seems like a critical 3-game stretch tonight.
Yeah, I mean, tonight's tonight. It's now we'll move on tomorrow to OKC. After we look at ourselves from tonight, learn from what was good and bad. But I'm only concerned about OKC next. I know what's next after that, and I get the schedule. But I told the guys coming out of the break, you can look at these 3 games and ignore Utah, but the math is the same. If you beat Utah, it is exactly the same as beating OKC. And this is a race to win games. So the next one's the most important against a really quality opponent, the best team in our league the last few years. And, then we'll go from there. But I just think you have to have that mindset to not get too far ahead. There's just too many opportunities out there to put yourself in a great place, to be in this tournament at the end of the year. And I think if we can get, like I've always said, if we can get ourselves right, we'll be a problem in that tournament, just like those other teams will be. I just want to get there, and that process will continue, with OKC.
David, when did you find out Jamal was sick, and kind of how is he doing? And then on the flip side of that, without Jamal, obviously you didn't have Jalen as well. Is he progressing if Jamal maybe can't go on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow is important to us because those guys will get to play some, small-sided games with the coaches. They get up and down a little bit with contact. Jalen will be there, Aaron and Peyton. That doesn't mean they're coming back. It just means that this is part of the process for them. So Jalen's kind of in the same bucket as those 2 guys right now. Jamal is when I got here, I just went and said hi to him, and he looked awful. They gave him all the medication. It did not help. He said something to me at the starting line. I'm just like, nothing's really clicking here. And then all kinds of bodily things were happening. So he definitely went home. But I just mean it like Jamal. I think we all know this. Jamal's played through all kinds of stuff. So if he says he's sick, he's really, really sick. So it was cool for the other guys to step up. And, like we always say in the NBA or in all professional sports, Jamal Murray goes out, doesn't play. All of a sudden, KJ Simpson gets to play, has his moment. We win a really tough game against a really good opponent. We keep it moving. Yep, thanks.